All right, so this week we are dealing with Taharah, and which means cleanliness. Uh, it is an incredible thing to witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised a prophet in a desert, which there is hardly any water, full of sand, possibilities of becoming unclean is so easy, and yet has mentioned the importance of cleanliness still, that the believers were exhorted to try to be clean. I mean, we are asked to pray 5 times a day with wudu, and so they have to find water to make wudu. And so despite that extraordinary difficulty to be able to maintain cleanliness, our religion has emphasized it tremendously, because it is one of the most important things in terms of keeping the shaitan away, keeping jinns away, keeping away from disease and so on. So the Muslim is the one who, at-tuhuru shatrul iman, as the Prophet said, cleanliness is half of the faith that we have. Water, as I mentioned, is a universal item that we use to clean. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about this beautiful وَيُنَزِّلُ عَلَيْكُم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً لِيُطَهِّرَكُم بِهِ, that and Allah said, I have sent down water from the sky upon you, that perhaps you might purify yourself, that you may use it to purify. And so Allah in His mercy have designed the planet in such a way that clouds move all around the planet and brings water, absorbs and evaporates water from one part of the earth, and then it goes into the sky as a cloud, and then it gets blown by the wind into another part of the earth, and then it comes down as rain. So Allah distributes the water throughout the earth in the most magnificent and beautiful way. And so that is a real great mercy. And He says, I've sent down this water from the sky that you might use it to purify yourself. He brings it for us to drink, and also to us to purify ourselves. And so water has many different categories. First, there's unused water, which we call not previously used. And that's like your rain, your snow, hail that comes from the sky. It comes down pure, except if you have one of these weird places where you get acid rain and all of that. But generally water, rainwater, snow, and hail, they are considered unused and pure. And then you have seawater. The Prophet said that we could make wudu with seawater because he said its water is pure, and the animals inside of it, the dead animals inside of it, is pure. So we have this great bounty because the oceans are almost 4/5 of the earth. So we can use that to make wudu. The Zamzam water, which is a special water we get in Mecca. There's a well in Mecca that produces the Zamzam, and of course it gets marketed all over the world. There's actually a difference of opinion among the scholars about using Zamzam for wudu. Abu Hanifa allows it and said you have a hadith the Prophet used to drink and make wudu. Actually, Abu Hanifa disallows it. The other scholars, they allow it. And they said that there's a hadith which mentions the Prophet used to drink it and used to make wudu as well. So there are different opinions on the Zamzam. Altered water, that's water which something has affected it, but it's not impure. Like, we have, like, for example, in our country, they got like something called Blackwater Creek, in which the water is black, but it's pure and fresh as ever you could drink it. But it's black because the color has changed, because it's the trees that it passed through, and the algae and the leaves changes its color, but it does not make it impure. So those kind of water, that is unused water, they are considered pure, and you can use them for anything, for cleaning and for making wudu and so on. And then you have used water. This is like and the evidence they use for this is the Prophet ﷺ, he made wudu, and then he had some water left in his hand, and then he began to make ghusl, and he used back the same water. So they're saying that, The water used for wuzu can be used back for ghusl. So this used water, you can reuse it. If you make wudu with particular bucket of water, then you can go back and use it again. It does not make the whole bucket of water unclean. You can continue to use it again. Even though you had rubbed it on your face and it fell back into a container, you can use it again. Same thing for ghusl. Then we have water that it's mixed, it has stuff in it, but it has pure stuff, like soap or incense or flowers, or those kind of water is still considered pure. Obviously, if it has soap, you don't drink it, but it's considered pure to be used as a cleaning agent and to be able to use in different ways. And then you have leftover water. The leftover water gets many categories. This is one, for example, if people drink some water in a container and then they left the rest, it's still considered pure. Even if it's a Muslim or non-Muslim drinking it, because we consider the human being as the same category in this regard. And so if people drink from a particular container and they leave it there, it doesn't mean all the other water in that container has become impure. So you can drink that. Now, water from animals, if, for example, a donkey or mule or birds of prey, they drank from that water, it's still considered pure. Okay, it's still considered we can drink. We could go and use it for different things. If a cat drinks water, the Prophet says this is still considered pure because he said the cat, they intermingle with us. And so they are basically people like somebody in the house, basically. So they are allowed and they drink water, that water is still considered pure. Water mixed with impure elements. Water from a dog or a pig, we have it in red, then that water is impure. We cannot use that water again. Right? Either to clean something or we have to throw away that water. The water is not good. It's considered impure. The water mixed with impure elements. Now, if the elements that it was put in it, and this also, the scholars have a long discussion about how much water we're talking about. So if it's like a large amount of water and you have an impure element in it, but it did not affect the taste or the smell, or it didn't alter the color, it didn't really, it's still considered pure. Like a river, for example, as I mentioned before. The color gets affected, but it's still considered pure. But if the elements that is placed in this water causes it to smell, causes it to taste different, then, and if those two things would have affect the water and cause it to become impure.